Have you ever felt like even though you exist upon this planet, you are not meant to be like everyone else? So you've been bullied, outcasted, or the black sheep of your family? And even though you hear this internal calling, you still seek validation or to be a part of the herd and to think and do like everyone else is doing. But inside, you feel there's something else you need to be led to do. And in listening to that internal call, you may feel a sense of fear towards it because you don't know exactly the outcome or the compass or the map on how to follow the intuition of your purpose. So in today's video, I want to share with you why you fear your purpose and how to stop fearing it and start following who you are meant to be. Gucci beautiful beings, welcome back, AwakenOnes, on another episode on Embracing Such a Series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. If you're new to this channel, so glad to have you here, boo-boo. If you've been on this journey with me so far, only love, gang, gang. I'm so glad to be an energetic activator, here to assist you upon your journey to awaken to things you have yet to see. So other than that, beautiful beings, if you want to know any more about my services, I am putting up my merch officially. New merch coming out. I still have my original merch, but I'm coming out with dream catchers and jewelry. So stay tuned for that because that will be coming up soon. As more as I get more out there, because it does take time, boo-boo. It takes time. But other than that, if you want to know, I do have a new podcast out called Mystifying Reality with my homegirl, Jessica Frias. We'll be talking about everything spiritual, maybe anything paranormal, just everything, deep conversations that I know a lot of people are ready to hear. So go check that out. Link in the description box below, as well as the link for my services of my healing course, all my other merch, as well as any services as a reading and Reiki practicing if you guys need that as well. So other than that, beautiful beings, let's get into why you fear your purpose. Now, I know that there are some people who feel like they don't know their purpose. But for those of you who question, you don't know your purpose, you have a higher calling to fulfill. And I'm sharing this little message with you guys because I know there's a lot of people, my peeps out there, who know that they have a higher calling. And you may feel as if this higher calling is leading you to do things beyond your family bloodline, beyond what your parents do, beyond people around you that you hang out with. And you feel this yearning to charge after something that you know anyone or everyone you've been around is not willing to do. And you may have been outcasted, may have been bullied, may be the black sheep of your family. It's for a reason. Now, when you have this internal calling, everyone has a purpose, but a lot of you, little bit of you, are willing to listen to the call. And the call is, are you willing to go after what your heart desires? Are you going to stay where you feel that you're seeking an ego boost? Because we live in a world where, I always say that we live in a world where a lot of people are only gratifying the ego, only trying to seek pleasure. But a lot of us want the royalty, want the success, but they're not willing to put in the discipline. They're not willing to let go. They're not willing to do the integration or the reflection it takes to look at thyself and see what needs to change to be the best version of self, to receive what it is you had never received or have before. And I'm here to share with you is because the reason why there's very few who are willing to go after what you call dreams or what you call your destiny, what you call your dharma, is because we have a tendency to be fearful of the power that we hold within us. Sometimes we could feel guilty about wanting to be better than our parents, wanting to do better than our family line, wanting more. We feel guilty for that. And we think we have to satisfy everyone else. We think we have to be at everyone's standards so they're comfortable. But yet you're uncomfortable. And this is not talking about people pleasing. It is a tendency to come from childhood traumas or people pleasing and trying to force things or seeking validation or seeking fulfillment from other things and other people or instant gratification. This is bigger than that. When you know you have a higher calling and you know you're destined for more, not just in royalty, not just in money, but you know you have a divine purpose and a divine right to have more than what you currently have, then you have to understand that is your higher self calling you forward to follow the guidance of your heart, your intuition, your inner truth. But the reason why we fear this inner truth is because we are not taught to trust in ourselves. We are not taught to go after what we want. Because if everyone thinks this world is broken, if everyone listens to the news, if everyone listens to their parents, then we deem them right. We think they're right. But I love how Steve Harvey said it. He said, if you have a purpose, I want to share something with you guys too. People who are entrepreneurs, I don't really like the word entrepreneur, but I love it at the same time. I don't like it because it's such a over digest word, but I really like it because people who are entrepreneurs, they follow their calling, they follow their inner compass, they follow their truth, and that is something spiritual. A lot of people are not willing to have the art of discernment, to trust their intuition, to trust in themselves. So they rather involve themselves in whoever and whatever to just feel like they have a purpose somewhere or in someone. And because of doing that, this is how a lot of people get lost, and this is how a lot of people are not satisfied in their own life. But people who are entrepreneurs and they follow their internal calling and they do things a lot of people have never done, regardless of how long they've been around them, is because they listen to that spiritual calling. And like I said in my last video, spirituality to me is just an energy, something that we cannot see, but something that we feel, something that we sense. And when people are willing to listen to that call, hence entrepreneurs, hence people who go after their desires, is because they're following their internal truth. Now, I'm going to go back to how Steve Harvey said it. I love how he said it. He said, if you have a calling, a purpose that you feel like you're meant to follow and do, if your family, your parents, your friends, people around you tell you that you can't do that, or that's not meant for you, or that's impossible, you have to understand it's not meant for them. It's meant for you. The reason why you have these visions of having more and being bigger, the reason why you dream bigger, the reason why you feel you're meant to have more, is because that's your truth. But a lot of us fear that because of the guilt of leaving people behind. Because the shame of what makes us think, what makes me have the right to think I deserve more, even though I never grew up more, even though my parents couldn't do it, even though my family couldn't do it. It doesn't matter. Even like Steve Jobs says, all these Steves, like Steve Jobs says, the ones who are crazy enough to think they're going to change the world are the ones that do. What if I told you your internal calling and your purpose is meant for you to have a higher position, a leadership that's meant for you to guide the nation into a new way of thinking, into a new way of being, into a new way of doing? And I don't want to say this for you guys to feel like you have to have such a burden on you or such a responsibility. I mean, it is a responsibility to be known all over the world, be famous, be well known, and to have a higher position. It is a huge responsibility. But if you feel you're not being respected, if you feel like you're not being seen for who you are, if you feel like you don't have the divine abundance that you feel like you're meant to have, it's because you're following the world. When you got to create your own internal world and follow that inner compass, follow that inner truth. We fear our purpose not because of the responsibility. We fear our purpose because of the power we hold. And sometimes we fear success or fear that power because we think we'll abuse it. But you have to understand, if you have a nagging within you that you're surrounded by people that don't think like you, if you have a nagging within you where you feel like this relationship is holding you down, when you have a nagging within you where you feel like this is not how you're meant to live, even though you came from a family that you were born poor, but you feel like you're not meant to die poor, that's a nagging you have to follow. But a lot of us fear that because it requires change. It requires adaptability. It requires transformation. It requires death and rebirths. And not a lot of people are willing to transform. Not a lot of people are willing to let go. Not a lot of people are willing to see their worth, their truth. All because they want or think they need fulfillment from the outer world. Or they think they're missing out on life. I used to think that. I used to think I was missing out on people, places, things, life. But really, I started to love following my purpose, following my desires, following my dreams. Not because I'm going to prove them wrong or get revenge. But it's more of the fact that I feel better doing what's best for me, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to be satisfied with all the results. Because all the work I've done, because I'm going to get the results that I know I deserve. No matter how long it takes. And I love that saying too. Anything that comes quick, what was I saying? Anything that comes quick is of the enemy, but anything that takes time is of God. Because if you're willing to work towards something that's going to be for the long term, you're willing to go through the lessons, the trials, the tribulations, the downfalls, the failures, to get what you deserve. And it's going to be long lasting. But if you're not willing to learn the lessons, if you're only satisfying your ego, only seeking pleasure, manipulating, being greedy, being of the ego, and things come quick, it's not going to last long. I mean, look at people who gain all that success so quickly and they didn't use it right. They didn't do it in a way that's going to be for the long term. So I'm telling you all this is because it's time for us to follow that call. It's time for us to trust the nagging of what our heart is leading us to. Because at the end of the day, how would it feel if your life was taken and you're in front of our Creator, and the Creator takes out a paper and says, you could have been this, done this, gone here. But you didn't do it. Because you were too fearful. Because you resisted change. Because you didn't want to let go. Because you didn't want to learn the lessons. Because you didn't want to face the pain. Because you didn't want to face the fear. It's all up to you. But I'm telling you this because I want to encourage you to remember that vision you have, that you feel you're meant to be, you already are. And that is actually the vision our Creator put within your head to push you, to nag at you, that you're meant for more. Don't ever fear that. And don't ever ignore that. If you feel like you gotta let people go, friends, relationships, even family, it's because you have something bigger ahead of you and for you. And the way to start feeling inspired by working towards that is realizing where you are now, you're satisfied. And if the answer is no, where would you want to be? And where you want to go and what do you want to be? Does that satisfy you? If it's a yes, then do whatever you can. Do what it takes to become that version now. And I'll give you examples. Like for me, I know I'm meant to be an actress. I know I'm meant to be in this industry. I know I'm meant to be a big public speaker. I know I'm meant to create a movie production. I know these things. I feel it within my core. And the way that I've started, yes, people call this the law of attraction or manifestation, but the way to do this is like envision that version of you. How does that version of you act, think, eat, walk, talk? Become that version now. Become that version now. Regardless, circumstances don't matter. Your circumstances are where they are because of how you think, how you feel, and how you act now. So when you start changing how you think and how you feel and how you act, your circumstances have no choice but to change. So instead of fearing that purpose, that calling, start to fall in love with fear. Start making fear your best friend. Because fear is not an indicator that you should hold back. Fear is an indicator that you have something new to overcome. So push that bitch in front of you and make it push you forward rather than getting in your damn way. Because there's so much more you're meant for. And know that there's no need to fear this internal call. There's no need to shy away from it. There's no need to fear that power. Because maybe you're meant to have that power, because we have a lot of people who abuse it. And maybe you think you're going to abuse it, but maybe if you think that way, you're actually meant to have the power because you know you're going to have pure intentions with it. Money is not evil. It's just people who use it for evil things. Things aren't bad in this world. It's only the people that make it bad. So realize, if you know you have pure intentions, and you know you deserve more, and you know you're meant for more, it's because, and you know the outcome of if you do abuse it, or if you are greedy, or if you overindulge in it, then you know you got pure intentions for this power and this purpose. So go along with it, and you'll be very, very surprised when you flow with that internal call. You'll be very damn surprised at what manifests for you. There's a lot of things in my life that have been manifesting out the blue, and one, I'm very grateful for it, and it's because I'm just following my internal compass. I'm no longer fearing. I'm just trusting. And I hope that everything I shared with you just brought a little bit of an activation within you to recognize that there's nothing to fear, but everything to gain. Because little do you know, everything you want is right around the corner when you make the decision to say enough is enough. I'm tired of this version of myself, and I'm tired of these circumstances. My mind, my heart, and the way I am and the way I act is much more powerful than what I've already created. So if I created this, then I could create better. So other than that, you guys, I just want to leave you guys there with that little message. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, go check out my services and my merch and my healing course. And plus, definitely go check out my new podcast, because I know you guys will highly, highly enjoy it. But until then, you guys, I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Only love.